I've got lovely memories, real excitement.
It was such an amazing space.
It was the hub of the community.
Bauhaus influences, truth to materials, Swedish architecture.
We had some great times here.
The boys used to come outside on the scooters. They were nice.
It makes me very happy, very nostalgic, and harks back to a very happy growing up period.
They definitely need more places like this throughout the whole country.
Grove Park Youth Club represents so many positive things that were going on in Britain during the post-war period.
Planning to replace our blitzed buildings and to make our towns worth living in.
The Chimbrook estate comes at a really interesting moment in the 60s where a lot of the ideas and ambitions of 45 are increasingly implemented.
Even though the country is still broke, they found the resources and the money to build youth clubs, as well as housing, hospitals, universities.
And our towns would have not only an urban quality, they'd have all the variety and interest that makes urban living so rich and varied.
It's still striking what a lovely building it is, how attractively designed it is, what a pleasant, flexible and open space it is.
I was really quite blown away by it. I was just awestruck. Even if you know nothing about architecture, when you thought, this is a bit different, this is a bit special.
Architecturally, very clever, very well thought out. Internally, walking in, it was absolutely stunning.
My first project really was Grove Park Youth Club.
The architects department of the LCC was probably the largest and best regarded architectural practice in the world in the 1950s and 60s.
We used to get visitors from all over the world. We had to pretend to be working, but really we were more interested in meeting them.
You can see Bauhaus influences, the influence of sort of new humanist Swedish architecture and mid-century modernism.
I was straight out of school, you know, and we admired the great architects. Alto was a big influence on me, and Macintosh and Bauhaus. Whether that came out in Grove Park Youth Club, I've no idea, but it probably did.
There's the inward-facing windows and kind of multiple levels, the mezzanine, the large open space. It all combines to create a kind of integrated whole. What really matters is, does it work? Does it work for its users?
This architecture from that era, to me, represented hope. And so in its own little way, this small modest building here sums up so much of that positive progression in British society.
I didn't quite believe that this was just built for local kids. It was such an amazing space.
The daily life of a youth club enables the youngsters to get used to the feeling of being part of a community.
It was a place where you could just relax.
You've got all these islands of kids that all came together in this clubhouse.
All just part of the same family.
I've got lovely memories and, you know, really fun times, real excitement.
It was a local youth club for the local kids. There was nothing else to do around here, so it was a focal point.
Christine Lynch, Laura Percy, Laura Dan, Beverly Brooks. We was the Chimbrook girls.
The table tennis I can remember that was very popular. I think we may have even had a darts board upstairs.
That room there, that used to be a massive snooker table in there. I think we used to put something like a 5p coin down and you were the next one.
Pinball machine, that's my vivid memory. Ping, ding, 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 ding. But definitely the disco was by far the best. That was the real highlight of the week. You'd go downstairs, have a dance, try and chat up a girl you'd got your eye on.
The girls would be dancing and all the blokes would just be sitting around the outside looking at the girls. Well, me looking at you predominantly. 3 times a lady.
Yeah, no, Hey There Lonely.
Hey There Lonely girl.
We used to dance to a lot of Tamla Motown. was loud, nice and loud. There was a song I liked, Jimmy Mac, Jimmy. And I used to go, oh, come on, let's get up and dance. And the boys used to come outside on the scooters. They were nice.
Everyone doled up and got ready, but it was a big deal.
You dressed up to go out.
Two-tone tonic, Ben Sherman shirt, Dr. Martin boots, cherry red. It was very fashionable to wear like Levi jeans. You used to have to get in a bath of cold water when you bought them, and they would shrink fit to your body. When you don't have much, that Ben Sherman shirt, those trousers, those boots, that was a very special thing.
It was the hooky walkers where I met my husband. I haven't got a clue what they were like. I was dancing with my friend. I did spot this chap across the way who looked quite interesting. He sort of sidled over and came out with this dreadful one-liner. Hello, don't I know you? I was married for 40 years.
I think it was a great shame when it actually shut down, because it is such a focal point, isn't it, for local kids. Keeps them out of trouble and gives you a sense of belonging.
It was like this, on the precipice of stepping out and on to whatever life was going to bring you. But then for having met my husband there, really quite just sort of emotionally special.
Grove Park Youth Club is a space for education in South East London for young people. And as you can tell, I've a bit of a passion for education. We cannot afford to lose any more of our spaces, our libraries, youth clubs, hospitals, schools. The building's an asset to the nation.
We actually need buildings such as this which allow young people to flourish, which provide them new opportunities and interests, more so now than ever perhaps.
I think probably a lot of problems stems because kids don't have anywhere to go.
That notion that if someone has provided you with nice housing or you're given nice facilities, it does make you feel better about yourself.
We need to give young people and the community a space to come together, a space to meet. We don't know what genius is, what talent is lying around here that could be nourished and nurtured and brought to the front from this youth club.
The building will be saved and restored.
The vision for this building is a youth club for many, many years to come.
When I heard that there was all this hard work being done to bring it back, I was absolutely delighted. I thought, what a great thing.
I'm thrilled. I'm absolutely chuffed about it. One, that the building has lasted 50-odd years and can be still a provision for young people. That is great.
We look not only back, but we look to the future, and actually a future that reflects some of that early ambition and extends it and meets the new problems and issues of today.